Maura Murray was a bright and ambitious young woman whose life was filled with the promise of a vibrant future. Born in 1982 in Hanson, Massachusetts, she was the daughter of a close-knit family that placed a high value on education and hard work. Maura excelled in school, her determination earning her a scholarship to the prestigious University of Massachusetts Amherst, where she pursued a nursing degree. Friends often described her as vivacious, her laughter infectious, and her adventurous spirit magnetic, drawing people closer to her. Yet, beneath the radiant exterior of her life, Maura grappled with pressures that weighed heavily on her shoulders. Maura always pushed herself to be the best, her friend Kate recalled, her voice tinged with concern. She was so driven, but sometimes I wondered if it was too much for her. The mounting demands of academic life, compounded by personal challenges, began to take a toll on her mental health, leaving her friends worried about her well-being. In the weeks leading up to her disappearance, Maura's behavior became increasingly erratic, causing alarm among those who cared for her. On that fateful day, February 9th, 2004, she was involved in a minor car accident on campus, a seemingly innocuous event that would spiral into a chilling mystery. Eyewitnesses later reported seeing her purchasing an unusual amount of alcohol, an act that struck her friends as out of character. Cryptic messages sent to her closest companions hinted at her disquiet, but the gravity of her situation seemed to fly under the radar. Later that evening, after a series of troubling decisions, Maura packed her belongings, her mind racing with thoughts she couldn't articulate, and left her dorm room for an impromptu road trip to New Hampshire. She casually mentioned to her friends that she was heading to the White Mountains, yet the details of her journey remained shrouded in uncertainty. Witnesses would later report seeing her car, a silver 1996 Toyota Corolla, on Route 112, where it ultimately crashed into a snowbank, the cold winter air suffocating any trace of her presence. The police response was swift. Officers arrived on the scene shortly after the crash. However, despite their diligence and determination, Maura was nowhere to be found. It was like she vanished into thin air, recounted Officer Smith, one of the first responders on the scene. We combed the area for days, but there were no signs, no clues. Just a mystery that grew deeper with every passing hour. The chilling realization that a young woman could simply disappear left the authorities and the community baffled. Meanwhile, her family and friends were plunged into a state of confusion and despair. "We thought we knew her," Maura's sister, Julie, said, her voice quivering with emotion. "But looking back, there were signs we missed. I wish we had recognized how much she was struggling." The haunting questions began to ripple through their minds. What led Maura to leave? Was it a momentary lapse in judgment? Or was there something more profound at play, lurking beneath the surface of her spirited persona? As the timeline of events unfolded, the stark reality of Maura's disappearance began to settle in, revealing not only the fragility of life, but also the complexities of mental health. The weeks that followed brought an intense outpouring of love and support from the community as search efforts intensified. Flyers bearing her image were plastered across towns, and volunteers scoured the woods and fields, hoping against hope for even the smallest clue. Each day that passed without answers only deepened the sense of urgency and heartache, raising a multitude of questions that seemed to swirl endlessly in the air. What was she thinking? Where did she go? And why had she left everything behind? As the search for Maura Murray continued, various theories about her disappearance began to emerge, each one more haunting than the last. The uncertainty surrounding her fate sparked a whirlwind of speculation, leading investigators and the public alike to explore multiple avenues. Some theorized that Maura had been the victim of a hit-and-run, while others suggested abduction or even a planned escape from the pressures that had begun to overwhelm her. Detective Harris, who had been involved in the investigation since the beginning, recalled, "Each theory seemed plausible at first glance, but the evidence was frustratingly elusive. We had no witnesses who could definitively say what happened after the crash. It was like trying to solve a puzzle with missing pieces." The haunting nature of the case weighed heavily on the investigators as they navigated through the murky waters of uncertainty. The idea of a hit-and-run was particularly compelling, considering the location of her car crash. Route 112 was known for its winding roads and sparse population. There were not many cars on the road that night, Officer Smith noted, his brow furrowing in frustration. If someone had seen her, we might have had a lead. Despite extensive canvassing and interviews, no one had seen anything suspicious that night, leaving a gaping hole in the timeline. Another chilling theory suggested that Maura had been abducted. "It's a common fear in cases like this," said private investigator Linda Gray, who had been brought in to assist in the search. "Young women simply disappearing without a trace can lead to the belief that someone was waiting for the perfect moment to strike." Yet, the absence of physical evidence or any credible witnesses to support this theory left law enforcement with little to work on. The chilling thought lingered in the air. Had someone been lurking in the shadows, watching her every move? However, as the days turned into weeks, a different narrative began to emerge, that of Maura planning her own escape. When you delve into the psychological aspects, it makes you wonder, Detective Harris said, his voice tinged with concern. Did she intentionally want to slip away from her life? The messages she sent to her friends were cryptic and unsettling. Maura's seemingly ordinary life had been punctuated by moments of stress and anxiety, leading some to ponder whether she had reached a breaking point. In a revealing interview, Kate, Maura's closest friend, shared her thoughts. "I thought about it a lot after she disappeared. Was she silently crying out for help? I remember her mentioning wanting to start anew, but I never thought she'd actually go through with it." This notion of a planned escape resonated with some, yet it painted a picture of Maura that her loved ones struggled to accept. The very idea that she might have deliberately chosen to vanish was an unbearable thought for those who knew her best. As the investigation unfolded, the lack of concrete leads compounded the frustration felt by those involved. Every piece of evidence felt like a dead end, Officer Smith admitted, shaking his head. "We looked into similar cases, hoping to find a pattern, but each one was unique in its own right." The complexity of unsolved disappearances became apparent as investigators reviewed other cases. Linda Gray pointed out, in many similar situations, the families were left with unanswered questions, often for years. It's a painful reality that echoes through communities when someone goes missing. The despair in her voice reflected the collective grief of those affected by such mysteries. In discussing the broader implications of Maura's case, it became evident that the mystery surrounding her disappearance was not isolated. The threads connecting her story to the stories of countless others served as a stark reminder of the unpredictability of life and the fragility of human existence. As the search continued, the theories surrounding Maura's fate only deepened the mystery, inviting both speculation and profound reflection on the nature of disappearance. Each theory presented its own challenges, leaving the investigators and Maura's family in a state of limbo, grappling with the haunting question, what truly happened to Maura Murray? The unanswered questions loomed like shadows, reminding everyone that the truth remained just out of reach. As the days turned into weeks, the emotional toll on Maura's family became increasingly apparent. Each member grappled with the uncertainty and anguish of her disappearance in their own way, but they shared one common goal: to find answers. The once vibrant home, filled with laughter and joy, now echoed with silence. The absence of Maura felt in every corner. Maura's father, Frank, often found solace in the woods behind their home. "I go there to think," he said, his voice trembling with emotion. "It's a place where I can feel close to her. I talk to her, hoping she hears me." This ritual became a coping mechanism for him, allowing him to process his grief while holding onto the hope that she might still be out there. Her mother, Lori, took a different approach. "I had to channel my pain into something productive," she explained, sitting at the kitchen table adorned with flyers for missing persons campaigns. "I started a website dedicated to Maura's case, sharing her story and keeping her memory alive. I can't let the world forget her." The website quickly became a hub for information, updates, and a space for others to share their own stories of loss and hope. Sitting beside her mother, Maura's sister, Jennifer, reflected on the changes in their family dynamics. "We've all grown closer, but it's a bond forged through tragedy," she said, her eyes welling with tears. "We have to be there for each other. It's hard to explain to friends who haven't experienced this kind of loss. They can't understand the weight of it." The community responded in ways that left the family both grateful and overwhelmed. Local volunteers organized search parties, while online forums dedicated to Maura's disappearance attracted attention from across the country. "The support has been incredible," Frank acknowledged. "People we've never met are sharing our story, and it gives us strength to keep fighting." In a poignant moment, Lori shared a story about a candlelight vigil held in Maura's honor. "It was one of the most heartbreaking yet beautiful nights of my life," she recalled. "Seeing so many people come together, each person holding a candle, lighting up the darkness. It was a reminder that we are not alone in this." Maura's story is now a part of theirs, too. As the family continued their pursuit of answers, the emotional struggle remained a constant companion. With each passing day, they found ways to honor Maura's memory, whether it was through the website, the vigils, or simply sharing stories about her vibrant personality. "She was more than just a missing person," Jennifer insisted passionately. "She was a daughter, a sister, a friend. She deserves to be remembered for the life she lived, not just the mystery of her disappearance." Despite the toll it took on their mental health, the family's resilience shone through. They became advocates, not just for Maura, but for all families affected by similar tragedies. "This isn't just about us," Frank emphasized. "It's about raising awareness for every person who has vanished without a trace. We want to be a voice for those who can't speak for themselves." In an emotional exchange, Lori added, "We will not stop until we find her. We owe that to Maura. We owe that to ourselves." The determination in her voice was a testament to the strength that love can muster, even in the face of unimaginable loss. As the chapter closed on the family's heart-wrenching experience, it became clear that the impact of Maura's disappearance extended far beyond their home. The threads of community involvement, shared grief, and relentless hope wove a tapestry that illustrated the broader impact of her case, reminding everyone that while life may be unpredictable, the bonds of love and the quest for justice are unbreakable. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting shadows over the woods where Maura was last seen, the air thickened with a weight of unanswered questions. Her disappearance, shrouded in mystery, became a chilling reminder of the unpredictability of life. Each theory proposed, each rumor whispered, only added to the enigma. What happened to Maura Murray that fateful night? As the world continued to turn, her story remained frozen in time, a haunting echo of unresolved tension. The online forums dedicated to Maura's case buzzed with activity. True crime enthusiasts, amateur sleuths, and concerned citizens alike pored over every detail, dissecting the timeline, analyzing witness statements, and theorizing about what may have transpired. "It's like a puzzle," said Sarah, a moderator of one such forum. "We're all trying to piece together the fragments of her story. Some people think she staged her own disappearance, while others believe she was taken against her will." In a recent thread, one user posited, "What if she was struggling with something deep and felt she had no other option?" This sparked a heated discussion among participants, each sharing their perspectives and insights. The subtext of their dialogue revealed a collective yearning not only for answers, but for understanding the complexities of mental health and the pressures that can lead individuals to make drastic decisions. Experts suggested that the nature of unresolved cases like Maura's has a profound psychological impact on society. Dr. Emily Carter, a psychologist specializing in trauma and missing persons, noted, "When someone goes missing, it creates a ripple effect. Families are left in limbo. Communities feel a sense of vulnerability, and people become increasingly anxious about their own safety." She further explained that unresolved mysteries often linger in the collective consciousness, leading to a pervasive sense of unease. A poignant moment arose when a participant shared a personal story of loss, drawing parallels between their experience and that of Maura's family. "I lost my brother in a similar way," he typed, his fingers trembling over the keyboard. "It's like living in a nightmare where you constantly replay those last moments, trying to find a clue, a sign. I feel for Maura's family. They deserve answers." The empathy resonated deeply, reinforcing the notion that while the details of Maura's case remained elusive, the emotions it stirred were profoundly shared. As the discussions unfolded, it became evident that the community's engagement was fueled by more than just curiosity. It was a testament to the human spirit's innate need for connection and resolution. The digital age allowed individuals to unite, forming a collective voice that refused to let Maura's name fade into obscurity. "We're all in this together," one participant concluded, echoing a shared sentiment that reverberated through the threads. "We won't stop until we find out what happened." In the midst of this swirling uncertainty, the question lingered: how do we navigate the unresolvable mysteries in our lives? As Maura's case illuminated, the unpredictable nature of life is a double-edged sword. It teaches us to cherish each moment and the relationships we hold dear, while simultaneously reminding us that not all stories have a clear ending. As the chapter drew to a close, the unresolved mystery of Maura Murray's disappearance served as a poignant reminder of the complexities of life. While the questions may remain unanswered, the commitment of those who seek the truth illustrates a profound dedication to love, memory, and the quest for justice. Just as Maura's family had rallied in hope, so too had the community, united in their pursuit of closure and truth. The threads of connection woven through their collective efforts underscored a powerful truth. While some mysteries may never be solved, the quest for understanding can illuminate the darkest of paths. In the wake of Maura Murray's disappearance, the ripples of her absence have touched the lives of many. Friends and family, grappling with the void left behind, often reflect on the vibrant young woman they once knew. Maura was the kind of person who lit up a room. Her childhood friend, Jenna, shared, her voice tinged with nostalgia. She had this infectious energy, always pushing us to be better, to pursue our dreams. The shock of her sudden disappearance left a scar, one that has shaped their lives in ways they could never have anticipated. As they gathered in the local community center for a candlelight vigil, the air was thick with emotion. Each flickering flame represented not just a memory of Maura, but a commitment to keep her story alive. We need to remember her not just as a missing person, but as a friend, a sister, a daughter, said Sam, another close friend. This isn't just about solving a mystery. It's about honoring who she was. The conversation shifted to the broader implications of Maura's case. It's a wake-up call for all of us, Jenna continued, her eyes scanning the room, filled with familiar faces. We can't afford to be complacent. Missing persons cases often fade into the background, but they shouldn't. Each one is a reminder of the vulnerabilities in our society. As the community rallied around Maura's family, they initiated programs that raised awareness about missing persons. Local law enforcement began to take a more proactive approach, reinforcing the importance of community engagement in such cases. Officer Ryan, who had worked closely on Maura's investigation, stressed, "It's crucial that we don't just look at these cases as statistics. Each person represents a life that has been disrupted, a family that is left in turmoil." The dialogue among friends and community members often returned to the shared responsibility of keeping Maura's story alive. "We owe it to her to keep talking about it," Sam asserted, a resolute tone in his voice. "We need to make sure people remember that she was here, that she mattered." In the years that followed, Maura's legacy became intertwined with community efforts to support families of missing persons. Fundraisers, awareness campaigns, and support groups emerged, each a testament to the enduring impact of her case. Every time we share her story, we're not just keeping her memory alive, we're also helping others who are facing similar heartbreak, Jenna explained, a sense of purpose igniting her words. As the vigil concluded, the friends stood together, united by their shared commitment to Maura's memory. "This isn't just about finding answers," Sam said, determination in his voice. "It's about creating a future where no one else has to face what Maura's family has endured." With each passing year, Maura's name continued to resonate, a reminder of the complexities surrounding missing persons cases and the profound impact they have on communities. The need for continued investigation and awareness remained ever present, illustrating that while the search for Maura may be fraught with uncertainty, the legacy of her life is a powerful rallying cry for justice, empathy, and collective action. As I sit down to reflect on the complex tapestry of Maura Murray's story, I am overwhelmed by the myriad emotions that have surfaced throughout my research. Each chapter of this narrative has unveiled layers of grief, hope, and resilience, not just for Maura's family and friends, but also for those of us seeking answers in the shadow of her disappearance. The haunting question lingers: how can someone simply vanish, leaving only fragments of memories behind? The journey into Maura's life has not been merely an exploration of facts and timelines. It has been an emotional pilgrimage. I recall interviewing her friends, the weight of their sorrow palpable as they recounted the vibrant spirit that once filled their lives. Jenna's words, "We can't afford to be complacent," echo in my mind, reminding me that every missing person represents a life interrupted, a narrative unfinished. It is a reminder that these stories are not just statistics. They are vivid illustrations of human experience, woven with love, loss, and longing. Yet, in the pursuit of truth, I have grappled with the ethical considerations of sharing such profound personal tragedies. The line between storytelling and exploitation is tenuous, and I have often found myself questioning whether my words honor Maura's memory or inadvertently contribute to her commodification. There is an immense responsibility in narrating a story that belongs to someone else, especially one steeped in unresolved pain. It is crucial to approach these narratives with sensitivity and respect, ensuring that the voices of the families and friends are heard and valued. In closing, The reflections on Maura's case serve not only as a summary of the investigations, but also as a call to action. We are reminded of the necessity for vigilance in the face of such mysteries, the importance of community, and the relentless pursuit of justice. As we continue to search for answers, we must also keep alive the memory of those who have disappeared, advocating for the changes needed to prevent such losses in the future. The stories we tell hold power, and in honoring Maura's legacy, we can illuminate the path for others who walk a similar, heart-wrenching journey. As I delve into the heart of hope and resilience, I am struck by the indomitable spirit exhibited by Maura's family and community. In the face of overwhelming uncertainty, their unwavering belief in finding answers serves as a beacon of light for those who tread a similar path. The stories of families enduring the anguish of missing loved ones intertwine, creating a powerful narrative of solidarity and strength. Maura's sister, Julie, embodies this resilience. Every day without her is a reminder of our fight, she once shared with me, her voice steady but tinged with emotion. We refuse to let her story fade away. Julie's commitment to keeping Maura's memory alive is not just a personal mission. It has sparked a movement that resonates beyond their family. Through social media campaigns and community events, she rallies others to join the cause, transforming pain into purpose. The impact of such initiatives is profound. I recall attending a candlelight vigil organized by Maura's family, where hundreds gathered to share stories, light candles, and honor not only Maura, but all those who have vanished without trace. The atmosphere was electric with hope as families of other missing persons stood shoulder to shoulder, creating a tapestry of shared grief and resilience. "We are stronger together," a mother of another missing person declared, her tears glistening in the flickering candlelight. "If we don't speak up, who will?" Beyond Maura's immediate circle, the ripple effects of their efforts reach far and wide. Organizations like the National Missing and Unidentified Persons System, NAMUS, and the Missing Persons Advocacy Network are born from the ashes of pain, fueled by the desire to prevent future tragedies. These initiatives provide resources, support, and advocacy for families, ensuring that no one feels alone in their fight for answers. In exploring the stories of other families, I am reminded of the shared humanity that binds us all. The story of Jason, a young man who disappeared under mysterious circumstances, parallels Maura's in many ways. His mother, Sarah, became a driving force in raising awareness about missing persons, establishing a nonprofit organization dedicated to providing resources for families in crisis. "We must turn our sorrow into action," she said during an interview. "It's how we keep their spirits alive." As I reflect on these courageous families, I cannot help but feel a renewed sense of purpose. The resilience they exhibit is not solely about enduring loss. It is about transforming that loss into advocacy and action. In a world that often feels indifferent to the plight of the missing, their voices rise like a chorus, echoing through the darkness. As we honor Maura's legacy, it is essential to keep these conversations alive. Each story shared, each initiative launched, is a step forward in the fight for justice and visibility. It is a reminder that hope can flourish even in the bleakest circumstances, and that the quest for truth is fueled by the bonds of love, community, and resilience. Together, we can shine a light on the shadows, ensuring that the names of the missing are never forgotten and their stories continue to inspire action. As we turn our gaze towards the future, it becomes increasingly clear that the search for Maura Murray is not merely an echo of the past, but a living, breathing pursuit sustained by hope and innovation. The relentless dedication of Maura's family and supporters has laid a foundation for future efforts that could finally bring closure to this perplexing case. In an age where technology continually evolves, the potential for new leads to emerge is a beacon of optimism for those yearning for answers. "We cannot give up," Julie insists, her voice a mix of determination and emotion. Every day, new tools become available that could help us find Maura. We need to stay vigilant and engaged. Her conviction is palpable, a reminder that while the search may seem stagnant at times, the landscape of investigative techniques is constantly shifting. One such advancement is the emergence of advanced forensic technologies, including DNA analysis and genetic genealogy. These tools have revolutionized the way law enforcement can approach cold cases, transforming what was once a daunting endeavor into a potential breakthrough. "I truly believe that the science is on our side," remarks an investigator who has followed Maura's case closely. "With every passing year, we learn more about how to utilize these advancements." Furthermore, the rise of social media platforms has created a unique opportunity for families of missing persons to amplify their stories. Hashtags can go viral, turning local tragedies into national conversations. "We've seen cases get solved because of social media," Julie adds. "It's a powerful tool that keeps the conversation alive and brings awareness to our plight." The community's role in maintaining interest in Maura's case cannot be overstated. Local organizations and advocacy groups continue to host events, rallies, and discussions, inviting anyone who wishes to contribute to the cause. It's about creating a culture of awareness, a community leader explains. "If we can keep Maura's story at the forefront, we can inspire others to take action." As I reflect on the discussion surrounding Maura's case, I am reminded of the importance of individual involvement. Each reader holds the power to make a difference, whether through sharing information, supporting advocacy groups, or simply by keeping the conversation alive within their circles. "It's crucial that people don't forget," Julie states firmly. "We need their voices to rise with ours." In closing this chapter, I am filled with hope. Hope that through continued efforts, Maura may be found, and hope that her story will inspire others facing similar heartaches. Each day brings with it the possibility of new discoveries and developments, an unyielding reminder that the search for Maura Murray is far from over. The quest for truth and justice is a collective journey, one that thrives on the engagement and compassion of all. Together, we can ensure that Maura's name remains alive in our hearts and minds, and that the search for her continues to inspire action and awareness.